Countertop is cut to length. We'll check that the drawer is closed. It's a little tight. That's just it's a fake drawer, so it doesn't need to close. This one does. All good. It's tight, but it'll work. Finally got the countertop cut to length and temporarily secured on there. Just notch out that back part for the trim so it fit a little more snug against the backsplash. Everything's good. I already tested to make sure this drawer closes, so we're safe. We're safe there. Next up, gotta set the sink so I can get moving on that plumbing stuff. So I'm going to tape off along here just so I know where the edge of this cabinet is to be safe, and then center the cabinet or the sink base here and start cutting it out. Get moving. So you're about to watch me take like 6 tries to set this kitchen sink and the countertop correctly. The problem was I used the jigsaw to cut it out, and you should use a jigsaw. I guess you probably don't really have to, but you could use a jigsaw to kind of make the corners well. You're gonna see like I drill holes with just a drill, and then I use the jigsaw to connect the holes, the 4 corners. I didn't really think about it until after my uncle asked, oh, did you use just a skill saw and plunge cut and connect the drill holes? And I didn't, obviously, which is why it took so long. The problem with this is it's not a big issue. You can use a jigsaw, you could do whatever you want. But as I would come to find out, there's not a ton of room when you set these sinks. They give you little clips to kind of fasten the sink from underneath to the countertop. And there's like less than a 1/4 inch from the end of the sink to where the clips go. So there's really not a lot of room, and you have to be extremely precise, which is why you should use a skill saw. You'll get a straighter cut. And ultimately, I'm pretty lucky that I didn't really screw it up with the jigsaw, because a little wiggle one way or the other, and if I went a little too wide, I would have a part where the countertop's there's just a hole, and I would have had to buy an entire new countertop. And fortunately, it's cheap laminate. But more fortunately, we didn't even have to go there. So I just kind of wanted to explain that this is probably the first of many examples of it worked out, but there's a million times better way to do this, and that would have been drilling with the drill like I did, and then using a skill saw to get a very, very precise cut. Also, before I forget, don't waste time cutting from the top down. I taped everything off, and I made sure I took accurate measurements so I didn't screw anything up and I didn't scratch the countertop. But for future reference, especially if you're using like a laminate countertop, you flip it upside down, set the sink on top of it, you outline it, and do all your cuts from underneath with a skill saw. Now you and I both know how to do it correctly and accurately without taking 6 tries. All right, keep watching. Countertop is cut, sink fits. Next up, we've got to set this on the base cabinets and silicone it in, and then hand tighten the clamps. So get moving.